Hey, pretty. This is Alondra Hopkins, the Abundant Coach, host of Loving Me, Loving You podcast. And today I got a word. Today is another girl talk, but this talk, y'all, I've been in my word. Like, God has really been giving me the strength to rest in Him. Like, I've been spending so much time just in His presence. And I found myself in the story of Esther. And I'm going to be honest, God has been speaking to me to read Esther for literally over like 3-4 months. And it took me finally being obedient and just diving in my word to get this word, okay? Because this is good soul food. But in case you do not know the story of Esther, let me just give you a little synopsis, a little summary. But I definitely encourage you, go read for yourself because God is going to reveal whatever He wants to reveal to you. You know, my perspective of the book may not be the same as yours. So make sure you spend your time in your word to gain your own understanding. Anyways, Esther, she is one of two of the women in the story of the Bible. And there's Esther and there's Ruth. These are the only two women that have their own story in the Bible. It's crazy. And what I realized about Esther. So first of all, Esther was a very young, beautiful virgin. She literally was anointed as queen because, so there's King Xerxes, there's Queen Vashti, there's Mordecai, and there's Haman. So King Xerxes literally had himself a little wife, a little fine thing, but she was disobedient. Queen Vashti was always disrespecting her man, her man, her man. And what I realized is, baby, you can be in the position of a queen, but your disobedience to the king is what is taking your ranking. It's what is taking your royalty and your elegance as being labeled a queen. So Queen Vashti wanted to disobey her man. She got kicked out. So King Xerxes decided, you know what? I'm going to hold a beauty pageant to attract me a new queen because I need a queen that's going to be pleasing in the sight of me. Ooh, that's a word. He wanted him a queen that was not only going to be beautiful in her outward appearance, making sure that she was taking care of herself, but he wanted a queen that was going to listen to his orders. He had sent for Queen Vashti, and she chose to not respect him or come when he said come. Therefore, being disobedient made her get kicked out. So Esther ended up winning this beauty pageant, child. Now she's labeled as queen. And throughout her journey being queen, her cousin Mordecai ended up being disobedient to one of the royal officials, Haman. And Haman decided, you know what? I'm going to have you killed. I'm going to have you and all your people because they all were Jewish. And at this time, the Jews were not accepted. But even though Esther was a Jew as well, she didn't tell King Xerxes of her family background. So once Haman figured out that Mordecai was related to Esther and they both were Jewish, he said, you know what? You want to be disobedient and not fear me and respect me, Mordecai, I'm going to have you and all your people killed. So he goes back to Esther and pleads like, go in the presence of the king and ask him to save our people. Cash. Child, that's my sister cat. Come here. Come here. Anyways, so he's pretty much pleading to Esther, like, hurry, you got to save our people. Like, I need you to go in the presence of the king. You need to go in the presence of the king to save my people. Whoo-wee. Y'all, stay with me. Keep following me. So she goes in the presence of the king even after being fearful because, baby, it's a lot. Y'all just got to go read the story. But what I'm getting at and what God was speaking to me is the power of, number one, being pleasing in the sight of the king physically, making sure that you are appearing as beautiful, making sure that you are taking care of yourself as a woman. The fact that she had the power to be beautiful and young and youthful and vital to be chosen as queen, but then secondly, emotionally obedient to the king, that she had the power to free her people from bondage and release a death wish. The king had agreed and sent out an order that I'm going to kill all the Jewish people. But because Esther had the brave words to say, had the courage to go in the presence of the king, even though she may have been killed, and to ask and plead, not even plead. She kept saying, if it is pleasing to the king, can you free my people? And the king was so willing to give her her wishes. He pretty much kept telling Esther that whatever you want, you can have. Whatever you want, you can have. But in order for her to get to that level of trust with the king, that level of favor with the king, she had to focus on her inward appearance as well as her outward appearance to be pleasing in the sight of the king. So what God is saying to me, and I believe that this is a word for you, but take it back to God, confirm it, get in your story, and baby, read Esther, because honey, this fed my spirit. What God is saying is, if you take the time to be pleasing in the sight of me first, if you take the time to obey me first, I will appoint you as queen. I will put you in a position of power that no one can take you down from, that you will always have the words to say. I will be a mouthpiece for you to give you the words to say to save your people and deliver them from a death wish. So begin to get in the presence of God, begin to obey God, and get in the king's presence in order to free your people from bondage and get that death wish up off of you. But that's all I got. Also, make sure y'all are subscribed to my channel. What's on my nose? Come here, Cash. Come here. You want to say hello? Come here, cozy kitty. Child, he don't be paying me no mind. He be like, TT, leave me alone. Come here. So yes, that's the word. And until next time, love you.